They were that close once again, Chris. They were that close once again for the second straight time. That close. Another walk-off field goal loss.
You know, Dennis, it's here's the game. They gave it away.
Let's get this sucker started.
Get dialed in, Panthers fans. Here comes an in-depth look at your team. Exclusive interviews. Locker room insight. Ready? Let's huddle up.
Let's just do it, okay?
For Panthers Playbook, driven by Carolina Ford Dealers. Here are your hosts, Dennis Cox and Chris Lea.
Panthers Playbook presented by our friends over at Carolina Ford Dealers. With a Ford F-150 on your team, it's game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. Chris, missed opportunity after missed opportunity, whether it was Eddie Pinheiro missed field goals, 2 of them, a catch that actually wasn't a call to catch. We're actually standing at that end zone. Goalpost is right over there.
Yeah.
And we'll hear from Adam Thielen here in a little bit about
missed
that.
Tackles.
Missed tackles, missed opportunities all over the place. But here's the thing. The Panthers still had a lead with 30 seconds to play. Bryce Young throws a 25-yard dot to a wide-open Adam Thielen, and I'm like, hey, look at that. Like, make it Bryce of America Stadium at that point, the way he led a comeback.
I like that.
The way he led a comeback. But you know what?
When you guys start tweeting that, give him credit. Bryce of America Stadium. That's going to happen in 2025.
I took it from a show I produced, so it's fine. But you know what? Here's the thing. They still had it right there. 30 seconds left in the game. You had the lead, and you walk away with the loss.
I mean, up until this point, the Carolina Panthers 2-0, heading into as 2-0 after having the lead after halftime.
Yeah.
At halftime. And so, you know, it was a lot of missed opportunities there. This is a game that they controlled for, I would say, maybe about 60% of it.
Yeah.
And they kind of gave it away. They didn't really execute as well in the second half. And then you still had your opportunities, right? You had your opportunities to win at the end of regulation. You had your opportunities to win and take it back in overtime, and things just didn't go your way. And this is where you start looking at the minor details, right? Like overall, the reasons why defense, missed field goals, and what was my third thing?
Play calling.
Play
Lack
calling.
of running.
Play calling, lack of running, right? And so that's one of the things that can take this team a little bit further, right? There were times where in the second half, especially on the drive when they end up getting the 17-16 lead, Tampa Bay Buccaneers started controlling the game.
Ran the ball.
How?
Ran the ball.
Running the ball,
Running
right?
the ball.
And, you know, I'm not saying that Bucky Irving is not a good running back at all, but, like, if you're going to give up over 150 yards to him, right? What is Saquon Barkley going to do next week when the Eagles host the Carolina Panthers in Philadelphia at the Link, right? Like there's a lot of things to clean up here, and a lot of things that the Carolina Panthers can start looking at to say, hey, you know what? We really gave this one away.
Yeah, they're right there. And Adam Thielen, we talked to him in the locker room. Here's what he had to say about the team being this close, but still coming up short.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, we're not out here to just have, you know, losses that feel good, right? So at the end of the day, we have a lot of confidence. I felt like the last 3-4 weeks, this team's just felt like we can win this game. You know, the Chiefs come in here, a bunch of wins, not a lot of losses, and hey, we can win this game. I just felt like there was not, it wasn't even words said, it was just it just felt different in this organization, in this building. The week of preparation, just felt like, hey, like we can win these games. We just have to do the right things. And, you know, that makes it more frustrating when you don't come out in the end, when you play good football, it doesn't look sloppy, and you just don't come out with the victory.
But, Chris, that's the story. So close, but yet still so much work to do to try and get over the hump. As we mentioned, they were up, winning late. But I think also the loss really comes from me, not only just not getting stops late when you needed them, but early in the game when you actually had a lead, you could have put this Bucs team away early and separated, but instead you're only up 13-10.5. You had missed field goals. Yes, there was the incompletion here at the back of the end zone. Thought Bryce threw a great ball. Thielen came down with the catch. We'll actually hear from him in just a second about that. But he came down with the ball, and it looked like off replay, but from what we were able to see up in the press box, which was the same things on TV that you all got to see if you were watching at home, it looked like he had it.
Yeah.
But the thing that was perplexing to me is like the side of the end zone that we're standing on, they had an angle this way from the camera, but not one from over there. Like, You tell me you can't have a camera over there too that can show you what
That's
show you that.
That's on
like,
Fox.
It's on the NFL.
Yeah.
I put it on the NFL.
Well,
I put it on Fox, but yes,
okay.
it's Fox. But the NFL should require, hey, we should have shots coming from both sides. So it's little things like that. But you still had control. You still had the lead, and that's the thing that's frustrating. That's something about this team, though, is that. You told me before we started recording, hey, it's progress. Yeah. It's at the point right now where, hey, you know what? You actually expect to be in games as opposed to just being completely out of it.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, you know, if we think about the difference, right? And they said this in the locker room, there are no moral victories, right?
Yeah.
But if you think about the difference between what we're talking about at the end of this game, at the end of the last game versus the Chiefs, versus the first 2 games of the season where everything was bad, there really wasn't a bright spot besides the offensive line, right? And Chuba Hubbard. Now we're talking about the minor things to go actually win you a game. And that's what this team absolutely needs to learn at this point. Like that's now going to be the difference between them winning 4 games in a season to winning 9. Because you're going to be in enough games to where, like, it's going to come down to the last few possessions. How do you go out there and win? And we thought that we were seeing Bryce Young's first game-winning touchdown pass.
Yeah.
You know, he's had game-winning drives with field goals and, you know, Chuba Hubbard running the ball in. He hadn't had his first game-winning touchdown pass. And and listen, I'm bringing him up because we're not going to bring him up anymore, pretty much. Bryce Young played well.
Yeah, he played awesome.
There's nothing about this game and this loss that is on him.
Not at all.
It is literally, I think that he can be a lot more effective, not because of anything he did or didn't do. Dave Canales just needs to give him some better play calling. And it's like he refuses 18 rushing attempts if you take out Bryce Young's 3 scrambles to 46 passing attempts, right?
Which he scored right there, actually.
And I asked him directly, what is the sweet spot for you? Because there's 18 attempts and for rushing the ball, 46 for passing the ball. And he kind of gave me a non-answer after the game.
Yeah, he was very generic with it. He's like, well, there's no true number in terms of how many times you want to carry. It's kind of flow of the game, but, you know, we want to be balanced. It was just kind of like a word salad type thing.
46 to 18 is just not acceptable.
And we understand, by the way, we'll hear from Chuba Hubbard here in just a little bit, but those 46 pass attempts, I thought he had the touchdown here to Adam Thielen in the end zone that we're standing in. Let's actually go real quick to Adam Thielen on that catch, non-catch.
Yeah, they told me that my right hand came off the ball, which is crazy to me because the ball never moved. So my hand moves, but that's fine. And my left hand was and that's why right away when I got up, I was like, that thing is a catch because I knew my left hand was locked on it the whole time. So.
Did you know you had gotten your knee,
your
elbow, something?
Yeah, I knew I was obviously in, but at the same time, should have caught it the first time, so can't put it in the ref's hands, and obviously New York's hands either.
So you heard Adam Thielen say that at the very end. I can't put it in the hands of the officials. I can't put it in the folks in New York who do the replay review. He's like, I got to catch it the first time. Like, he took ownership. Like, he owned that, even though he still caught it.
I will say this. Let's pull back the fourth wall really quick.
Yeah?
Before the cameras were rolling, me and Dennis go up to Adam Thielen like, hey, man, that was one hell of a catch. That was a good catch. Actually, both of
catches.
them. And he was like, yeah, man, like my hand didn't move, you know, or he said the ball didn't move, but my hand moved just a little bit. And there, you know, and then when the cameras rolled, he gave the good, you know, camera answer. I'm cool with that, right? We know what it really is. That was a catch.
Yeah.
You know, production and NFL kind of screwed that up for the Carolina Panthers, right? And so, you know, as far as what the Panthers can control, he is right. Catch it the first time, don't bobble it, and you got it.
Speaking of controlling, we can control. Chuba Hubbard had the fumble late in the game. He talked about what other guys in the locker room said to him after the game, but also he took ownership of himself too.
Everybody's had my back, lifted me up, supported me, but at the end of the day, I hold myself to a high standard, and you know, we're trying to change things here, and that's not helping with anything. So I got to be better, like I said, and all I can do is just work. It happened. Just got to grow from it and keep moving forward. Not gonna have my head down. I'm just going to keep doing what I always do, and that's work hard.
Chris, I would just like to throw out there that I know moments before I posted on X, hey, you're allowed to run the ball in overtime, and then Chuba Hubbard fumbled the ball. That's not on me, okay? It's not on me.
It's not your fault, man. It's not your fault. Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault.
I ate popcorn, okay? I ate some popcorn. It's not that big of a deal. All right?
No, but it was a real tweet, though. Like, I mean,
yeah, but real.
It's up until then, like, you know, that was the 18th rushing attempt, and that was in overtime.
Yeah, that was in overtime.
Right?
Again,
So,
like, these are called design runs, not the Bryce Young scrambles. I know there are a couple RPOs where he pulled the ball and decided to throw it, but again, 18 design run attempts by Dave Canales today.
you know what I like, right? Okay.
Time of possession.
Rush. Oh, we're gonna get there.
Okay.
Total yards, 445 Tampa, 367 for the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers had more than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the third quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Rushing yards, 236 Tampa. 236 Tampa to 78 for the Carolina Panthers, and there's 39 rushing attempts for Tampa to 21 for the Carolina Panthers, and 3 of those are Bryce Young scrambles because he dropped back to pass. So we're gonna take out 3 of those, right?
Yeah.
So it's really 18. Time of possession, 39-31 Tampa to 27-39 the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
Those are difference makers.
Yeah.
Like those, like, and this is where I'll say, like, you know, in a game like this, and I don't want to make it seem like this is like a karmic thing, but I brought up back in the Saints game, they didn't win anything on the field.
No.
The Saints literally gave up that win. The Saints really should have won that game.
Yeah.
And now you're standing at a game like that where the Carolina Panthers gave up a game. Now they didn't have, you know, time of possession on their edge like the Saints. They didn't have more yards like the Saints did, or whatever, but they still gave that game away. You also won the turnover battle.
You did. Yeah.
2-1.
Chau Smith-Wade, we'll hear from him in just a little bit here.
2-1.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, these are the little things that you have to think about and take care of, especially when it comes down to coaching. And, you know, we talked about what the players can do. Now we got to talk about what coaches can do, right? And so, like, Dave Canales has to just, you know, go back and eat some crow a little bit. Like, what did you say that we were at the beginning of the season? You said we were a team that's going to run the ball. That is our identity. I'm sorry. I don't see that identity. And you pointed it out to us in the press box, right? Chuba gets paid, has the great game against the Giants.
Yeah.
You go to the bye week, and you ignore him for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, he has a career day after you paid him, and then the bye week to get rested up coming back from Germany, and it seems like he's been forgotten. But
Hey,
one of those guys.
Hold this really quick. Hold on.
Okay.
I just ran more than Chuba Hubbard. I just ran more than Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, you kind of did. Someone who actually got some touches and carries today, Jonathon Brooks. We actually had a chance to talk to him one-on-one in the locker room about, hey, how can we get this run game ramped up again?
I think just as a whole team, offense, defense, special teams, I think just as a whole, just lock in attention to detail. Just focus on ourselves and just really just attack next week and look forward to next week.
All right, Brooks showed a couple of good runs. He had a nice catch out of the backfield, had some flashes, actually had 5 straight plays where he actually touched the ball in terms of either catching it or running it, actually here in the end zone where we're standing right now. So we got to see those flashes of it a little bit. Someone that we actually saw flash and actually make some plays and was around the football quite a bit, Chau Smith-Wade, who had an interception today, which he actually kind of told us, he's like, I was actually kind of out of position on it slightly, but I ended up making the play as Baker Mayfield kind of forced to throw, and he read it perfectly. Like, hey, props to him. Got the interception, led to a field goal eventually. But speaking of defense, Chris, defense has to finish, and Chau Smith-Wade actually said that very same thing.
Yeah, you know, as we know, there's no moral victories, so, you know, we just have to finish, and, you know, that's bold, a big bold font on the finish, so that's what that is.
Chris, explain to me when it's late in the game, there's 6 seconds left in regulation. 6 seconds left in regulation, the Bucs have a timeout.
They're trying to have the difference between what? It was it would have been a 58.
Roughly, they got 4 yards on the play, so between a 51 and a 55-yard field goal.
That's what it was. Yeah,
51 and a 55-yard field goal. One's a lot easier to make than the other.
Yes. And you know what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a little bit closer.
Quick hitter. If it's not there, he's going to dirt the football or throw it away, whatever it is. You know Baker Mayfield's going to do that.
Just want to set that up.
Why aren't you pressed up on those receivers? Why are you slacked off?
Why are we doing this?
That was kind of blurry.
Why are we doing this?
It's kind of blurry because of the camera setting I had, but still.
But still, you get the point.
Still.
Like they're lagged off like 8 yards.
Yeah.
In that situation.
Sure enough, 4-yard slant, catch, down on the ground, timeout, 51-yard field goal, which is interesting because the Panthers actually forced a long field goal in overtime, which they missed, which, if I remember correctly, was about 55 yards. That's the point. It's little small details like that.
Woo.
That's the kind of things that's frustrating.
Woo.
As excited as we are to say, hey, we're right there, but if this team wants to learn how to win, you have to do the small things right. That's the thing that's lacking right now. You're there, but you're not fully there.
But again, it's not just the players.
It's not just players.
That's
coaching.
The players are doing what was called.
Yeah, that's
right?
coaching.
And like certain, I just kind of wonder about situations.
Mm-hmm.
And if the coaches are going over situations, what do we do if we're in this? And maybe it's because they haven't been in these situations before. They haven't really thought about it. It's not front of mind.
True.
Now this stuff has to be front of mind. You know what I'm saying? Especially as you're building towards next year. You know, you gotta be able to like coach up your team for the right situation so you can get the right outcome. It's not just the players on this.
Next week in Philadelphia, you gotta stop Saquon.
Hold on.
Oh,
before we stop,
we
got to talk about Sam Franklin.
Oh, yeah.
So, Dennis, go to his Twitter account @TheFanRookie.
I'll drop the video here real fast for you.
You want to show the video real quick?
Yeah, I'll show it real fast.
Okay.
What to do, bro? Hey, tell me what the team at.
So that was Sam Franklin.
Yep.
It looks like he was going, he said number 33.
Yep.
And he wanted
Jose
to come
Ramirez.
after. And so basically, just to kind of give you a little bit of an outline, Panthers, where we're standing, the Panthers tunnel is here. And he walks all the way over here to try to confront a Bucs player.
Yeah.
And like that's not a quick walk. Like,
no,
you know,
not.
You really have to make an effort to do that. And he got pulled back by some Panther staff and things like that. I kind of wonder, Dave Canales didn't know anything about it. Why would he? You know, you can't really see everybody, and there's a scrum at the end of the game. And so it's a lot of happening. But like, I wonder if that is how they're going to handle that situation. Because we also saw that's one of those things that's boneheaded that maybe he could get, you know, fined for, but also something that's boneheaded, like on the kickoff, Caleb Farley in the overtime, like you got him pinned back. Like, why are you helping the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Giving them a free 15
giving
yards.
them a free 15 yards in that situation. So there are some things to be cleaned up. Goes back to coaching too.
Yeah. Little things like that. But we'll have an episode for you this coming Thursday. Make sure you check out Panthers Playbook wherever you find your podcasts, as well as subscribe here on YouTube while you're at it.
I just thought about it.
What's up?
Sam Franklin was listening to Kendrick Lamar. Squabble up. Squabble up. Squabble up. Squabble up. Squabble up. Squabble up.
With a Ford F-150 on your team, it's game on. See your Carolina Ford dealer today. Carolina Ford dealers, a sponsor of Panthers Playbook. We'll see you all on Thursday.
Squabble up.